Snail is not the hardest boss to defeat in Beast Form Simulator, but it's actually a secret boss that you can see on the screen right over here. I'm even scared how much damage it does. That's why, guys, make sure that you watch this video till the end so that you figure out which is the hardest boss. So Ladybug. Ladybug is a normal boss that actually has maximum of 38 HP and also does a lot of damage. Then we have Spider. Spider has maximum of 100 HP and it's a little bit harder boss than the previous one, but it's still quite easy to defeat. Then we have Scorpions. Scorpions are even harder bosses than the Spider. They have 200 HP. They are quite hard to defeat. Then we have Mantises. The Mantises are one of the hardest bosses in my opinion, because look how they jump. They are really annoying and they can kill you easily. Even me that has more than 40 bees in his beehive. Then the next one is the Werewolf. The Werewolf is a big guy because it has 250 HP, which is one of the hardest boss to defeat. I mean mobs. Then the next ones are actually the ants, and ants are different kinds, so I won't be going through all of them. And also the big ant, or the tank ant I call it, has the most HP, which is like 1000 HP, and it's also super hard to defeat it, especially if you're, yes, over here giant HP has 700 HP. This is the thing that I have been talking about. Next up is actually the one and only, the King Beetle. The King Beetle is one of the quite hard bosses to get, and it's also very valuable because you get 1 million honey out of the King Beetle. Next up is the Commando Chicken. The Commando Chicken is extremely hard boss to defeat. Why? Because it literally levels up every time you kill it, and it can go to infinity basically. So this is one of the hardest bosses, but I will still measure it from the first level. It's not that hard to kill it for the first level because it's like 10,000 HP. That's why, guys, the Commando Chicken is quite hard, but it's not the hardest boss. Next up is the Tunnel Bear. The Tunnel Bear is one of the hardest bosses to defeat also because it's super big and it has like 2500 HP and his level is huge, which means you will have to have higher level beasts, and that's really hard to defeat Tunnel Bear. That's why, guys, this is even harder than the Commando Chicken. Next up we have the Victus Bee. Victus Bee is relatively easy to defeat and it has like 15,000 HP or more, but it's super easy to defeat, really not that hard. Next up we have the Mondo Chicken. The Mondo Chicken is a high tier boss. Why? Because look how many HP it has. It has 250,000 HP. That's almost a quarter. I mean, that's a quarter of a million HP, which is extremely a lot. That's why, guys, this is one of the hardest bosses to defeat, but also it's not the hardest, but it's still really hard. Oh my god, I almost forgot, the app hits are one of the hardest bosses to defeat. Why? Because there is a time limit on them and they just disappear in a few seconds, which means they are one of the hardest bosses to defeat, maybe even harder than the Mondo Chicken. Next up is the Vintage Bee. The Vintage Bee is quite hard to defeat. Why? Because it has a lot of abilities, but they don't do that much damage, but it's still really hard. I believe it's my favorite bee. Next up is actually the Coconut Crab. The Coconut Crab, it's extremely hard boss. Even though you have 2 hours to defeat it, literally anybody can almost do it, but you need patience and it's extremely hard. Oh my god, look how many damage he does to me. Next up is the Stickbug. The Stickbug is my unique boss. Why? Because he can literally live forever and his HP is even bigger. Why? Because look how many scores did those guys got. I think that's 2 billion, or is that 2 million? I think that's 2. Yeah, that's definitely 2 billion. Oh my god, this is how many HP did the Stickbug have at the maximum, but it's still, this is insane. Stickbug is one of the most insane creatures, but still it depends on which level you are looking for. It can go to infinity, just like Commando Chicken. Now we have the most painful boss, which is the Stump Snail. The Stump Snail is ambitiously the longest boss to defeat. Why? Because it has 30 million HP and that takes like 2 days for me to defeat. And yeah, that's basically a lot of grinding to do, especially if you're AFK in the night. That's literally the most hardest boss to defeat, but it's not the hardest. There is even one thing that's called a secret worm. The secret worm is actually the new boss that might be coming if Onett decides to add a new gate to the underworld, which will be somewhere around here. it will be the 40th gate, which is an awesome idea because we only went up, we never went down, which is the new ways to explore the new options. And now we could get a 40p gate, which means the magma world will finally came to Beatle Simulator. I think that will be amazing, but I still have a few bonuses. The Stickbug can actually drop some his helpers that are, I call them little Stickbugs. They have a unique special name that you can see on the screen. Also, the polar bear can actually appear over here in the Beastmas, which is one of the hardest bosses also, and it's one of my favorite ones because I never even seen one. Oh my god, I really want to see it for Beastmas, this year's Beastmas. Come on, Onett, update the game already. Oh my god, it's so close to the new year. Yay, update the game. And guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you learned something new because I really want the new boss to game. And see you in the next video soon. Bye bye.